Hi everyone. I'm going to start with an awful statistic, which is that while studying English for an average of 7 years, children only speak for a total of 30 minutes on average. They have great capacities to learn new sounds and new languages, but we don't take advantages of those capacities. At Babble Planet, we want kids to enjoy learning spoken English while it's still time. To do that, we decided to mix 3 key ingredients. First, we don't want to do another boring multimedia application. We want kids to have fun and stay motivated. That's why we decided to do a video game. We also want kids to speak English and to have a feedback on their pronunciation. That's why we're using a speech recognition engine to let them speak and have a return on their pronunciation. And finally, we want kids to understand that English is a wonderful way of communication. For that, we are going to mix kids on a network to help them to notice that English helps them to meet other people. That's why we decided to create Babble Planet. Babble Planet is a social game for kids aged 6 and up to learn spoken English and interact with kids from all around the world. In Babble Planet, you have 2 types of mini-games. Expression games, where kids have to speak using our speech recognition engine, and comprehension games, where kids will get used to understanding native English speakers. We have different business models based on the platforms. For the iPad app that we released 2 weeks ago, it's a paid application with in-app purchase. For the PC and Mac version, it's a subscription-based model. And finally, we will also offer a license-based model for the school interested in using Babble Planet. Finally, let's conclude with the team. Elsa is the developer, Swanny the graphic designer. They both graduated from Les Gobelins, one of the top French design schools, and they are experts in UX design. And I graduated from SK Business School. I'm in charge of the business side, and I already worked in a startup. I promise you that with Babble Planet, we will eradicate bad English accent. Thank you.
Okay, this works. I don't know if this one works. Great, so you stayed within the time frame. That was
Yeah.
perfect. We now have time for 7 minutes of questions. Remember that you guys are trying to pick a company to invest in by the end, so try and orient your questions in that direction. I will let whoever has a question right now go first.
So you obviously know that there are millions of apps for children, including Tom the Talking Cat. So why kids would choose Babble Planet on the iPad instead of Tom?
Actually, the kids are more our end user than our client. The parents are our client. We are aiming for the parents on our marketing side. The goal is to mix what it's called edutainment in the US. It's the mix of education and entertainment. Because we want kids to learn English, parents will be happy to have a game that is entertaining and educational. The kids, we want kids to ideally learn English without noticing, but we know that they are not stupid and that they will understand that it's for learning. But we still want to do a game design that is as much fun as possible.
Okay, so if your target are the parents, what's your value proposition for the parents?
The value proposition is first the focus on spoken English. We don't do written English. It's only comprehension and expression, which is something that you have to work when you are a kid, and that we don't work enough, especially in France, but in many other countries. And we want to do that with a fun game. the fact is, on iPad, there is not as much as great quality games as we would want to have. So that's why we started with the iPad app, and then we will release the PC and Mac version and Android version.
Have you already started releasing, selling or distributing the iPad
Yeah.
apps? And what are the first results or the
Yeah,
first metrics?
the iPad app was released 2 weeks ago. It's at $3.99, and we have more than 500 downloads for the moment. It's mainly in France because that's the country we have visibility. But the good thing with the application is that it's totally in English. There is practically no written, no text. And the goal is to sell it all around the world because everyone is learning English, and that's why we want to immerse kids in English. And we don't have other languages than English in the application.
You just say that you will start with the iPad application. When will you consider that it is a success and that you are ready to move forward with the desktop and licensing strategy?
We are not waiting for the iPad app to be a success to develop the PC and Mac version. It's already in beta right now. We want to release it as soon as possible. We have metrics that we set to determine that it's a success or not. For example, we want to have 40,000 downloads on the second semester of 2013. That's our goal for the iPad app only.
Do you have any technology behind the scene? I mean, do you have any algorithm to help the children learn, like the thing we can have in Gymglish, for example?
Yeah, we are working. It's not on the iPad version is more a minimum viable product that we wanted to put on the market as soon as possible. But we are working on algorithm and also working on the speech recognition engine. For the moment, we are using an open source speech recognition engine called Sphinx. And the goal of the fundraising is also to hire someone working full-time on the speech recognition engine to target it especially for the kids.
We receive a lot of business plans on e-learning, especially focused at kids. So parents and schools will be flooded with proposals, offers, apps, programs, games, etc., etc. They need to be reassured. How do you do that? I mean, almost all of the other projects that we've seen have some kind of educational expert, a school board, an agreement with a Montessori kind of school, and blah, 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 which is very important to reassure parents, but also even more important when you go to schools. So how do you plan to do that? How have you designed your games? How do you sort of certify the educational content? How do you sell that to schools, and how do you balance that with having a fun game?
Since the beginning, we work with English teachers and pedagogical experts for English. And we are also working with a school where every time we have a new functionality, we test it with children, because it's really hard to know what children like, what they will have fun with. So since the beginning, we know that it's a key part to have a fun game for the kids and a pedagogical game for the parents. And we are working with partners for those both points. And the goal is also, with the fundraising, to hire someone on the pedagogical part full-time to have a perfect program on the game.
So you've tested the engagement with kids. I mean, do you have any data? You've put a kid in front of the app.
Yeah.
You know, how long do they play on their own, unaided? You know.
The problem is that it really depends of the age of the kid. We target kids between 6 and 10 years old. It's a big difference when a kid is 6 or 10. And it depends if the parents already put their kids in front of English or if they already studied English before. So we have feedback from parents saying that it's too easy, especially in northern countries like Denmark. And we have parents telling us that it's too hard for their kids. So we are adjusting as much as possible the game, but as we will develop the content further on, it will smooth the progression and the level for the child.
Last but not least, what amount are you looking for?
We are looking for 500,000, mainly for the development part, as we already have feedback from people wanting more content, more level, more functionality. We want also, as I said, for the pedagogical part and the speech engine recognition. And finally, for the marketing part, as it's a new license and we want to be, since the beginning, available all around the world, we have to make expenses in marketing to get known in a high potential market for us, like South America or Asia.